Welcome back to Alfa Models. So an exciting video today because I'll be unboxing this, which I've been excited about ever since I've first heard of the release from Alfa Model. So let's have a look at the box. What we've got is a drawing on the side of it for X-ray view, and then on the other side we've got it in blue and obviously green on top. So let's get into the box and see what it's like. So typical sort of packaging from Alfa Model. I've got the instructions there, I'll look at those in a minute. So first things first, we've got some clear parts here. So I'll take the bags out, have a look at them, and then look at what's inside of them afterwards. Screws, and some photo bits. So in here we've got a little gear knob which I've just dropped on the bench. And then seatbelt buckles, which are really nicely moulded. Even got the detail for the buttons and for the release clips on them, which is nice. Put that back in the bag. Photo pieces. Seatbelt latches, Q4 logos by the looks of it there, which I'm not sure why on the QV model, because that's for the four-wheel drive one. Windscreen wiper parts, and I'm assuming seatbelt parts. Speaker mesh, a few other bits, that'll be for the display. As usual, I've got some who built it kind of badge if you want to display it like that. Paddle shift, which if it's the manual gearbox it wouldn't have the paddle shift because it's got the gear stick. Brake discs, more mesh, wiper bits, pedals, and then window surrounds, and then clear parts for windows, which as previous kits I've had are painted black. That all looks good. Put those back in the bag so they don't get lost. We've got mirror detail, assuming they're for the wheel sensors, badges, and another Q4 badge, which I'm not sure on that one. And then your decals, so you've got the one for the centre display, and then you've got these three which are for the main gauges, QV ones for the side. And I've noticed on other ones that have been pointed out to me, it's got the GTA badge on there rather than the Chrome Giulia badge that would be on the actual real QV model. So maybe they're planning on bringing out a GTA version in the future. Don't know. Let's have a look at the wheels. these will all be the same. So they're all the same thickness, which on the real one they are staggered. So I think the back are 10" and the front are 9 or 8.5 from memory. But they're nicely moulded. You've got a hole there for if you want to put a valve on it. They look accurate to what the wheel should look like, so they're quite nice. I'm assuming all 4 of those are the same. Larger resin pieces. So this is the rear diffuser. You've got the bits where the exhaust will go into there. And then the dash. You've got some nice stitching detail on there, so if you wanted to simulate the leather stitching on the real one, you can do. The clock dials look accurate to what the real car looks like. That's all good. Look at these both together because they're the same pretty much. They look good. Centre console, which gear selector would be in there, whether it's the manual or the automatic. And I think there's another resin piece for that. And then some nice vents on the rear of that. Find out what that is, possibly the front splitter. And then the seats, which are replicating the optional extra ones, which have carbon backs on them rather than the standard seats that you get in the QV model, which is a nice touch. Put those back in the bag. Let's bag of bits. So we've got another gear selector there, made out of resin. So I'm not quite sure whether I've included 2. Possibly if you want one chrome, if you wanted to paint the other one. That will be the thing for the centre of the dash that goes on the top of the dash. They look like the rear lights, and then the front grille. All nicely moulded and in separate parts. Another one of those, and then the vents for the dash, and then the antenna for the roof. Side sill detail. These are moulded separately because you might want to use carbon fibre for them. That's not very good. That V for the front is broke, so I'll have to glue that back on, but that'll go around the grille. But again, that'll be carbon fibre. And then some brake detail, different sizes for the front and back. Wheel hubs, and there's your centre part for your centre console where your gear stick would go. As I said, that's the setup for the manual gearbox, so it wouldn't have the flappy paddles. Rear view mirror, vents, exhaust tips, rear calipers. All looks good. That'll be the rear spoiler. Got some mirrors. You've got the moulded bit for the side indicators on there, and then steering wheel, which has got a little bit of moulded detail for the audio controls and such. Go for this one next. So there's your front lights. And then parking sensors on there. sensor for your distance for the auto braking if you need it. Front brake calipers and the main rear brake calipers. So it's all looking good so far for the most part. And you've got your door handles, which look nice and crisp and nice deep grooves in it for taking the paint. And possibly door pull levers, I'm not sure, I'll have to check the instructions on that. And then the controls for your aircon on the dash. So let's have a look at the clear parts now. You've got side indicators, and I'll have to double check what the round bits are, I'm not sure off the top of my head. And then clear parts for the front and rear lights. Sure looks okay. So now for the main bit, which is the body. I'm assuming this has got the interior tub in it as well. So I've got a base plate there, which is just a piece of solid resin. Then you've got your interior tub. Let's have a look at this first. So you've got your areas for putting your seat belt in, and then again some stitching detail moulded in. And more at the top if you're putting your seat belt straps in. Raised brake light. And then the pedals, which are odd because that'll be for your footrest for your auto version. But we'll see if we're going what we do with that. So here's the bodywork, which is very solid feel to it. Nicely moulded detail. So again, got your parking sensors, your covers for your tow hooks if you need it, your lens cleaners, bonnet vents, wiper detail where you, I don't know what that bit's called, but that looks okay. And then I like the fact that the handles are separate because it gives you opportunity to do more detail in there and polish the bodywork better and stuff. Again, parking sensors on the rear and fuel flap and everything. So that's all looking nice. And then on the inside you've got your grab handles and your sun visors. So that's all looking good in there. Some nice details. So let's have a look at the instructions. So breakdown of all of your parts that you've got. Show you've got your separate metal key selector and your seatbelt clips and all the rest of it. And there'll be photo etch parts and such. We'll do this one first. So you've got all of your dial, your gauges, vents, and such that are going all in there. So got a little separate piece for your glove box handle as well, which is nice. And then that'll be a strap for pulling the seats if you needed to. Speaker grills, there's your centre console part, pedal covers, there's your rear lights, your exhaust tips, rear window. And then your main body parts, so front lights, that's what those other clear parts are for. to go in there, and then your wiper blades, windows and such. There's your front split apart, side pieces, and put it together with the wheels and the brakes. So there you go. That's the contents of this kit. Looks to be a good kit, relatively accurate. As I said, there are a couple of minor details that aren't 100%, but we can work with that. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time.